If you've ever dreamed of seeing Europe in a more relaxed, immersive way, you might just want to consider one of travel's fastest growing trends, river cruising. Casey Carr of Carr World Travel is here to share some must-knows before you go. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I am so good. I'm excited to talk about this because I've actually never heard of river cruising. So let's talk about it. You just got back from the Asta River Cruise Expo in Amsterdam.
Yes.
What was it about? What was it like? What did you experience?
So it's a huge event in Amsterdam where all of the major river cruise lines come and they bring all their ships. There's parties. There were 16 ships there, all tied up side by side. And we lived on board the ships all week. We spent our time exploring all of the different stateroom categories and the public spaces and dining on board at each of the individual vessels. And so to see all of those different brands and different ships side by side in one setting was just really incredible, really valuable. And it was a total blast.
Makes it easy, too, to pick which one's your favorite,
That's
I think.
Right. And I love river cruising.
Oh, my God. Well, tell me the difference between river cruising and ocean cruising.
Yeah, so substantial, but you'll find some similarities, right? The food's included. There's this incredible service. But river cruising is so much more authentic and just
intimate.
Small and intimate. There's only 150 guests on board typically these ships compared to the large river cruise ships. Shore excursions are often included on river cruises, which is a substantial additional cost on cruise lines. And it's just it's a totally different experience. You're getting a more intimate experience of the destination also because you're sailing through the heart of the destination, oftentimes Europe, and you're seeing castles and vineyards from the deck of the ship and stopping at small villages, and it's just a wonderful experience.
My goodness. Okay, I'm still stuck on the fact that there's only 150 people.
Yes.
Just because, like you said, even when you get off for those excursions, it's not just like everybody hauling tail to one door. You know what I mean? And so this is exciting. Now tell me, where can you actually go on a river cruise? Let's talk Europe.
Well, Europe is the number one.
Yeah.
That's what everybody thinks of when they think of river cruising. There's so many rivers in Europe. You've got the Danube with Vienna and Budapest, and you've got the castles and vineyards along the Rhine. Southern France, northern France, really the opportunities are endless in Europe, and lots of different itineraries available.
My goodness. Okay, why am I thinking about this for myself? I just saw that them overlooking that castle, and that was absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Okay, so what about something a little bit more exotic, like Egypt?
Yes, you can do Egypt along the Nile. You can go to Southeast Asia and cruise on the Mekong. There's a ship in Africa. There's another one in South America. River cruising is really a worldwide thing now.
Oh my. Okay, worldwide. So then there's maybe some options in the U.S.?
That's right. Viking has a ship on the Mississippi River. American Cruise Lines has ships on the Columbia River up where I live.
Nice.
So if you're looking to get your feet wet, there's a domestic option for you.
Start there.
That's right.
And then grow and expand, and eventually you'll make it to Egypt. Now, tell me what stood out to you the most about this experience?
You know, it's just how different the experience is on board each of these individual ships. You know, when you look at these itineraries on paper, they're often almost identical, but when you actually get on board the ships, you know, there's ships that lean very high-end luxury, all-inclusive like Tauck and Uniworld, all the way down to the more entry-level ships like Viking, which is still an incredible experience, and everything in between. I mean, there's lines that focus on food and wine and others on wellness. So you really need to figure out what it is that you want from your experience before you decide which cruise line you're going to book.
Can I ask, who is this best for? Or does it kind of go into what experience you want to have? Can your kids go along with them? Is it just intimate, where you maybe just want to do this with your spouse? What are we thinking?
You know, river cruising is great for everyone, literally everyone. Maybe not kids, although there are some family itineraries that you can take your kids on, and they've got cooking classes and things like that for them. But for the most part, it's for adults. But honestly, I don't know anybody who wouldn't love a river cruise.
Listen, there is no problem with kid-free. Just tell me.
Exactly.
This could be fun, a good getaway, I think. And a lot of the times, I think we get swept up in life anyway, that maybe we need a little river cruise to put us back in our right trajectory. So what's your advice for people who are taking a look at this and maybe have never done it before? What would be your main tip?
You know, one thing is to spend a little time on the front and back end, right? So if you're sailing like Prague to Budapest, spend a couple nights in Prague, a couple nights in Budapest so that you can sort of acclimate and explore on the front end and unwind and explore on the back end. Don't choose by price. Choose the river cruise that's right for you. And always my biggest advice, work with your local travel agent. They were probably at the River Cruise Expo, and they can match you with the line that's going to suit your personality and what you're looking for.
Yes. Okay, tell me, where can people find you? Because you're one of those travel agents that helps us out and makes it happen.
Yeah, well, you can find me everywhere online and social media at Carr World Travel.
There we go. Thanks so much for being here today. This is actually really interesting. I'm going to put this on my list. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be right back, you guys.